So we all know that the gaming industry in 2024 is kind of contentious and disappointing. We go through these endless hype cycles before a game comes out, only to be disappointed 2 weeks after the release. I've seen this going around a lot lately, whether it's people being disappointed in the new Call of Duty game or a World of Warcraft expansion, or even as recently as last night, I saw a video with nearly 200,000 views of people being disappointed about Valve's new game, Deadlock, before it's even officially announced, let alone released. I don't want to waste anybody's time, so I'll get right to the point at the very start of this video. Your favourite developer or publisher that created the games of your childhood doesn't exist anymore, at least not in the way you're imagining. Whether it's Blizzard creating World of Warcraft, or Activision and Treyarch creating Call of Duty, or even Valve creating Counter-Strike, TF2, or now Deadlock. These companies simply don't exist as they did when your favourite game was created. Most of these games were initially released nearly 20 years ago. The company that created that game is irrelevant. They're just a legal entity. They care about profits, cost, and timelines. The execs at these companies don't even play the games that they create. They simply don't care.
I don't have a World of Warcraft account, do you? No, I have a life.
It's the people, the developers, that make your games great. Individuals. Take World of Warcraft for example. That was released in 2004, which means it was likely developed throughout the late 90s. The people that worked on World of Warcraft in the 90s and added all of your favourite areas, classes, features are long gone or retired. It's the people that make these companies. It's the people that build the culture and the games. The company, Blizzard or Activision, they're just a shell, and every few years that shell empties out and fills up with new, completely different people. We as gamers need to stop latching on to the company names and expecting them to create amazing titles year after year just because their name's the same. We need to use our brains and understand that people move on. People retire. The company isn't eternal. Every 10 years, the company will go through a huge amount of turnover when it comes to employees. And like I keep saying, it's the employees that make our games special. Take Call of Duty World at War for example. It released in 2008 and pretty much revolutionized the gaming industry with Nazi zombies. After Nazi Zombies came out, every other game wanted to have something to do with zombies. DayZ, Left 4 Dead, World War Z, even TV shows latched onto it with shows like Walking Dead coming out. But Treyarch never had any intention of having this zombies mode in the game. In fact, it was never planned. The Zombies mode in World at War was the brainchild of Jesse Snyder, the lead designer of World at War. He created the Zombies mode as a way to blow off steam, as he put it, whilst working on the main game. It wasn't until he showed it off to other people in the office that the execs liked the idea and put it into the game. This is just yet another example of how it's not the companies that make our games great, it's the individuals. If it wasn't for this one guy, Jesse Snyder, being so passionate about games design that he worked on personal projects in his lunch breaks, whilst creating the full game at his day job, we'd never have one of the most amazing modes to hit Call of Duty, perhaps ever. I mean, let's just look at 2008 as an example. 2008 was a fantastic year for gaming. Rockstar brought out GTA 4. Epic brought out Gears of War 2. We had Fallout 3. We had Call of Duty World at War. We had Left 4 Dead. We had Battlefield Bad Company. I want you to realise that I'm not just naming games here. Well, I am, but some of these are brand new IPs. How many new IPs do we get these days? It's almost as if the people that created these things, the people that had the ideas that could execute on them and could bring all this to fruition, they were around in the early 2000s. They've since retired, and nowadays we're just reiterating on concepts that already exist. Left 4 Dead came out in 2008. Battlefield Bad Company came out in 2008. We had Guitar Hero come out that spawned, copycats like Rock Band. Mirror's Edge came out in 2008, the first Grid game. All of these new IPs, as well as sequels, but all of these new IPs in 2008 alone. And then when you look at years further than that, we get Modern Warfare 2, another Call of Duty game that revolutionized the genre, that propelled the first-person shooter genre forwards. But now what do we have? We not only are we just reiterating on the concept, we're remaking the games. We've had now Modern Warfare remade. We've had Modern Warfare 2 remade. it's almost as if these companies, the talent is gone. The talent has walked out the door. It's retired. It's moved on to the personal projects or indie projects. And this is what I mean when I say we need to stop latching onto these companies' names. So often I hear people talk about Blizzard's new expansion. Nobody actually talks about, oh, it's Shadowlands or it's The War Within, and here are all the reasons why it looks good. It's Blizzard. Of course it's going to be good. It's Blizzard. It's Blizzard. We need to stop latching on to people that did something cool 20 years ago and assuming they're going to keep doing it 20 years after when their entire workforce has been replaced. So this is my plea to gamers. Let's start using our brains. Let's look at what's in front of us. Let's stop pre-ordering these games and giving these companies our money before we've had a chance to play it. Let's realize that it's the people and not the company that make these games great. Just like the example of Jesse Snyder. Keep him in your mind when it comes to the next hype cycle. It's not the companies that make the games great, it's the people.